Hi, my name is Dee, and I am just piggybacking on a video I just saw. I believe the channel's name is NazomsCorner. The video was made by a beautiful, very caring mother about her breastfeeding journey and why she had to bring it to an end. I'm going to go straight into what happened to her and explain what she could have done or the support that she could have received that would have made a difference. So the first thing that I saw or she said was that she went through a cesarean section. So when we go through birth, I'm trying to pick my words. When we don't do the norm or we do something that is physiologically different for what's supposed to happen, our body sometimes takes time to realize what has actually taken place. I don't know if I make sense. So when our birth is traumatic, or even if you hemorrhaged, if you had a C-section, if you got an epidural, if there was any intervention during your birth, depending on how severe the intervention was, it can interfere with your breastfeeding journey. And so in her case, she talked about weight, not being, the breast milk not coming in, and what else, how she felt. And that's why we really have to encourage, we have to be careful about the comments we make to mothers, because it will contribute to their state of being if they are going to be relaxed. Because when you are breastfeeding your child and your milk is not coming in, the first thing that has to come to a mom is, oh, I just need some support on what's going on, and then she's gonna get help. Everything is gonna be okay. She's not supposed to go into a panic mode. And sometimes the reason why we go into a panic mode is because society has said that, ooh, if you don't breastfeed, this will happen, like she mentioned. Okay. There has been a lot of lies about breastfeeding. If you breastfeed, your child will have a higher IQ. If you breastfeed, your child will be more healthy. If you breastfeed, those are lies. What what breastfeeding does is the norm. So if you breastfeed, your child is going to grow normally the way your child is supposed to grow. If you breastfeed, your child will have the normal intelligence that's supposed to go if you take care of them. If you don't breastfeed, excuse me, if you use formula, then of course we do know that you are increasing the risk of illness or diabetes and all of those things that I will talk in a separate video. This is because of the fluids. If you got an epidural or you got IV fluids, these things can cause something that they call pressure, and so it can also delay breast milk. Also, the epidural does pass the placenta. Most of the things we get during interventions, they pass the placenta and they get to the baby, and so the baby, they are not able to latch. And that's the next thing I want to get on. So if you are in the position where you are not latching, these are some tips that can really, really help. Number one, relax. Help is on the way. Your baby is gonna latch. You just have to tell yourself that mommy is here. Mommy is gonna take care of this. I'm gonna get support for you, baby. Look at your baby in the eyes. Relax with your baby. Go bare skin. Let your child be bare skin as well. You can just do the top. Your baby, you can strip them to their diaper and then put them on your chest and cover. Snip their hair. Remove that hat that they put on the hair and snip their hair. Cuddle them, touch their toes, sniff their hands, look in their eyes. Try if it's possible, okay? If there is no health issues, concern, maybe nobody has to go to the ICU or anything like that, keep your baby with you 24/7. I do know that in Europe and other places, they make it such that the baby can sleep next to the mom. I think US is still behind. They still have the separate cot. I don't know how it is in other countries. But so if you're awake, you can keep your child with you as much as possible. That will help your body and their body to connect on a primal level, where those things that didn't take place because the birth did not go the normal way. I'm not trying to shame anybody when I use the word normal. Your body will start, those hormones will start coming together. Another thing you can do before birth is, if you're like she said, she was leaking, you can save some of your colostrum at that stage. Of course, check with your health care professional, the one who is taking care of you. Some people use midwives, some people use OBs. I love midwives because they are more holistic. They will be training you about breastfeeding and all the things that can happen. They care about your mental state, they care about your husband. I just love midwives. So I always go, after my first birth in the hospital, I told myself I'm not doing hospital anymore. So I went with midwife, and I did an out of hospital birth. But you can go whichever, the thing about this life is that you just have to be informed, and that's why I'm sharing this. Even if you go into a hospital with this information, you know what to expect, you know what you're going to do. So you can ask your doctor or health professional if you can save some of your milk before delivery, if they see that, oh, there's no concern here, because some people might be having certain issues that their doctor will prefer them not to pump before labor happens. So you have to ask first, but it's something that is really done. I've seen a lot of people do it to save breast milk. Even though the video says why I choose not to breastfeed, there were a series of things that had happened that made her to get to that point. And that makes me to want to say this. This video is for educational purposes only. It's not to shame anyone. It's not to judge. I really love what she said in the video. She said she wanted to know, and I think all of us, despite the things we go through in this motherhood journey, we should come to a place where we want to learn, and even if we are not going to use it, we want to pass it on to our children, or just offer that to somebody in our community that needs that. So because that's what she was facing. Every time she would go to the hospital, there was no support. It was just like, oh, why are you not breastfeeding? And that even stressed her more. And what's gonna happen? She's not gonna be able to relax and let her hormones work. All right, and the next thing was about the weight gain. So once again, if you go through interventions where a lot of fluids were given, sometimes these fluids get to the baby and they might come out like their birth weight might be a little bit higher than it's supposed to be. So that's one thing, that if there is a lactation expert who is knowledgeable in this, they will consider that and add all that factor when they are assessing the child's weight at the appointment. I do not mean this to be name calling, but a lot of pediatricians do not have lactation expertise. And so you have to make sure that you're speaking with a lactation expert who knows what they are talking about. And if you need any help in the future, I am here. You can message me. If it's beyond my scope, I will refer you to people who know more than I do. So that's one thing you have to know, that sometimes the baby can come up a little bit bigger than their birth weight, and that has to be taken into consideration when you're checking. Another thing about birth weight is that according to health experts, some weight loss is okay so long as the baby, you are being followed up with on what to do. So between 7 to 10% is okay. And then we expect that at a certain time. So from her video, she didn't really give details of the timeline. So I cannot tell if it was, okay, this has been long. And so I can't really tell from her video, but just wanted to know that it's not every weight loss that is a concern. So that's also something to know. And then, of course, there is the pumping stage where she was pumping, nothing was coming out. When she was going home, or when she got home, she started seeing some milk, and then the pediatrician advised her to top up. Top up always, always, always will set you back. But once again, like she said, we just want the baby to be fed healthy, mommy also healthy, everybody healthy. So if it is at a stage where the child's health is a concern, then of course. But sometimes you just have to keep the baby latching, keep the baby close to you. Sometimes we get home, and because of all this modernization, we put the baby far away, and we put monitors, and monitors are watching them. We are somewhere. Sometimes it's not our fault. We are tired. We don't have support. So keep your baby close to you. If you have the money, hire somebody to do the housework. Just relax with your baby. Don't think about anything if you can afford that. And I promise you, you understand your baby's cues to eat. And of course, the latch, there's a way to hold the baby. My kids stole my demo baby. Okay, not steal, but I think they came to take it away. I would have shown you, but there's a way to hold the baby that somebody assessing you can see. Is the baby's breast facing your breast, or it's the baby's like this, so it's difficult for them to latch. So somebody has to turn the baby to you. How are you holding the baby? Are you comfortable? Is the baby comfortable? How is the baby's mouth? Is it close to your breast? Is it far away from your breast? How is the chin? Is it touching your breast? Is it far away from your... So those are things that they have to check with the latch. And also the oral function. Sometimes some babies have tongue ties that they have to release. Sometimes it's just a matter of just practicing, because you and baby are all learning this. And so that's what I think I'm gonna end here. Let's keep on supporting each other. I hope that this gave some of you some closure. Yes, if you had an intervention or anything during your birth, it can delay milk, and then what is done after can further delay milk.
We have surgical drapes that are clear, so the mother and the father can actually watch the baby emerge from the abdomen. We try to get the baby onto the mother's chest as soon as possible. We try to place the monitors in such a way that the mother has an arm which is totally free to interact with the baby. But the ability to actually watch the birth, which is standard for a vaginal delivery, is something which is almost unheard of for a cesarean section.
When they lifted him, I was seeing what a baby looked like actually being born, and I had no idea what that looked like prior to this. My babies were cleaned and handed to me in the recovery room. I had felt cheated previously. I didn't get an opportunity the minute my baby was born to connect with my baby, and this time I did. So I am grateful to the people who gave me that chance.
My husband was reminding me that midwives are not the same everywhere. So when I was talking about midwives, I meant if you are in the United States and you wanting to have a child, I recommend going with like birth center kind of setting, or if you can get a midwife to come home. I don't know about other countries and how it is there. And so for here, I definitely recommend if you're not high risk, to not go to the hospital for birth. And then there's one thing I'm forgetting. Even if you're getting C-section, there's something called gentle C-section, which you can ask your doctor about depending on how holistic and open they are. They can actually let you bond with the baby when the baby comes out and the baby is fine. So while they are sewing you, your partner can put the baby to your chin, and you can kiss your baby, you can sniff them a bit, and I think that helps as well. They are also really very gentle about bringing the baby out, and they, they keep their voices low. They try to make the setting really almost the same as having a natural birth, not too chaotic, which I think helps mentally and even the hormones as well. So it's something that you can look into. And I wanted to show you mamas, I hope you can see this book. It's a really good lactation book. Even if you're done having kids, it's something that you can just go through so that you can pass the knowledge on to your children or anybody that you come across that needs the support. That'll be all from me. If you have any questions, let me know. I will be happy to answer. Bye bye.